Yo, hello guys, Infinite here, hoping you have a great day, pilots. Welcome to a simple tactics beginners can use to farm kills in the Little Bird. This is a deathless round, 26-0 in 10 minutes. At 2.6 kpm beginner pilot. And this is what I mean when I say beginner. Picture above is my bronze badges, and below is my silver. I'm not even a silver badge helicopter pilot. Anyone think the devs forgot to nerf the Little Bird when they nerfed all the air vehicles not too long ago? This thing is OP. At first I thought this heli was only ideal for pros, very agile, low armor, kill records that keep getting shattered until now. But then I started picking up the pieces and realized we don't actually need to aim like a pro with these OP rockets. Then there is the codification of battlefield maps, where they wanted to decrease downtime between fights, which means it's easier to find enemies now. And lastly, I believe by now we all know Battlefield's player count has dropped, so not every round is going to be a sweaty one. After I figured that out, I got the score. And I'd say all beginners can achieve this too. My first tip is probably a hard one to swallow, but I think being realistic is the first step. We are not a red badge helicopter pilot, or at least not yet. We are not gonna casually farm 64-0 like this guy without time and practice and process. I got this score by keeping it real, playing it safe and simple. I didn't use overcomplicated high-speed very agile maneuver. I see someone is taking B. I'm gonna fly the heli steady, no need to fly closer to B yet, just patiently waiting until he appears in my crosshair. Enemy helo spotted, taking cover and disengage, wait until the right moment, then engage. Good hit, he's already on 50%. Crazy damage. And that's a kill. My third tip, still about being realistic, is not to fly at the start of the round. Sweaty pilots usually fly straight from the beginning, so let's avoid that for now. Having a 1v1 against a pro is very useful for gaining experience and to improve our skill, if we can take the blow. Having 1v1 and lost for most of the time is not good, especially for beginners. I started flying in the middle of the round, about 7 to 8 minutes after it began. I used the early minutes to scan and observe my enemies through the scoreboard and key log. Once I felt confident enough I could handle enemy pilot, then I took the helicopter. For beginners, the goal is to outsmart more experienced enemy pilots, not defeat them, at least not yet. Where and when to fly are surprisingly important factors. Manhattan Bridge is the most beginner-friendly map to farm. Although it looks very narrow and seems to require a pro-level skills to fly between these buildings, actually this map has the most cover. As long as we don't hover out of cover for too long and just use a simple in and out cover movement, we'll be fine here. And finding enemies among these buildings is not that difficult. Operation Firestorm and Mirak Valley have too many air threats, 2 jets, 2 helicopters, mobile AA, countless TOW missiles. There are too many helicopters on Sobek City, and also a mobile AA. Contaminated is quite good, it has good cover, but again, 2 helicopters and too many TOW missiles flying around. Not an ideal place to fly for beginners. And another tip is a bit unusual but incredibly effective. Avoid flying in prime hours. Sweaty pilots usually fly after office hours. If you want to train and improve our skills, I recommend flying whenever and wherever they fly. But if you want to gain confidence and farm, let's just avoid them for a while. Again, a realistic mindset. This one is a bonus tip and probably will make our wallets angry. Silk, the biggest or one of the biggest battlefield aircraft content creators, calls the Americans as Americrops for a reason. They're usually more stacked here, making it easier for us to farm them. From my experience, European servers have fewer sweaty pilots than the American servers, but they tend to have more dedicated anti-air players. On Asian servers, players are less stacked together and there are more sweaty helicopter pilots. And high ping is surprisingly not an issue. You can see my ping throughout this video. It's around 200. Maybe it's noticeable in heli versus heli fights, but it doesn't significantly affect farming. Here are my keybinds and sensitivity. You can pause the video if you want to. I use rifle aim. I am more comfortable with this. And this is my loadout. I think the only thing I changed is the primary weapon. It's an upgrade version of the default one. Now I'm gonna share what's on my mind using all the tips I shared earlier. This is how a beginner can look like a pro on Manhattan Bridge. Someone is taking D. I'm gonna patiently reposition and scanning from here. That place is quite narrow. Enemy spotted. Enemy down. Love the splash damage. He was inside that building. These rockets, even with just average aiming, still gonna make us look like a pro. Both D and A are being taken, but I'm gonna use an easier route. This spot is definitely easier. We can just fly straight here. Gonna reload and replenish. And now let's go. Around 5 minutes in the air and just 7-0. A slow start. But it's okay. Gonna take it step by step. Slow is smooth. Smooth is fast. That's a real military quote. That should be our mindset here, especially beginners. Slowly and smoothly reposition. Firing all rockets. Got to. Nice. Turns out we can replenish from up here. That's good. Patiently looking for another kill box. Gonna attack B, the easiest and safest objective to attack. A pro will dive and attack straight away here. But I'm gonna be realistic, we can do this too. And this is around enemy helicopter spawn time. I'm gonna search for him. Our biggest threat in the sky, there he is. Gaining altitude, don't fly too close to their base. That stationary AA is deadly. This is good altitude, good position. And great damage. Enemy down. Having a timer is very important here. We have to be ready when the enemy helos start flying. And about spawn killing, it's like here we go again in this topic. I'm taking a pragmatic view on that. I don't do it on a jet. In here I'm only doing it when I'm near the area. But I fully realize the devs are aware of this and still allow us to do this. Until now. That's 5 kills from objective B, by the way, without the need to fly low and high speed maneuver. I'm gonna make another run. Fly high and steady. Repositioning. Someone is tagging us. Flying back to cover. No need to overexpose ourselves near B. Someone is still there. Easy target. That's the kill. Heading back to cover. Repositioning and re-engage. Got one. Got two. Nice. Heading back to cover. Enemy spotted. Enemy down. And another double kill. And it's 20-0 now. These rockets are too good to be true. It can make people with average aim look like pros. Now disengage and stay in cover. Enemy helicopter will spawn soon. Gonna spawn kill, this is way too long. Heli spotted, hope no one spawns there. But apparently there is. Sorry man. And ouch, turns out that altitude was still too low. Force bail, at least there's a point of this embarrassing spawn kill. Now returning to base to restore health. Gonna make quick detour to B, someone is there. Multiple enemies spotted. Got one. Now really returning to base without any unnecessary maneuvers. Health restored, here we go again. Scanning any red dots in B from cover. No need to fly straight there, B was full of movement back then. See one in the roof, got one in the roof. Disengage and repositioning. A pro usually flies back and circle that area to pick up more kills. But I'm gonna be realistic and keep using simple maneuver. I see one near the flag, I'm gonna use straight strafing run, and that's a kill. Disengage and heading back to cover. Safely scan from here. Heading back to cover, not gonna hover here for too long. Scanning and repositioning for another attack run. There he is. Love the splash damage. Same route, disengage and heading back to cover. Simply and safely scanning from here. All clear, then attack. Last 1 minute. Let's see what this OP vehicle can do in 1 minute. Probably less than 1 minute. Only around 30 tickets left. Enemy hero respawn time window. Gonna stay in cover while scanning for him. There he is. Moving to cover. Let's stealth attack him. All according to plan. Look at the damage. That's a kill. Crazy damage. What a way to close this round. 26-0 in 10 minutes. With the right tactics, this OP vehicle can make a beginner look like a pro. And that is all from me today, pilots. I hope you enjoy and can learn something new from this video. See you on another one and see you on the battlefield.